Isekai, big three. Would you guys agree? I think that this chart might be agreeable to people who love ReZero and hate Mushoku Tensei. You know what I mean? Because I feel like Mushoku Tensei that should definitely be up there. But that's me coming from an anime only who has no understanding of what Overlord's like or what Tensura is like in the light novels, right? This is like anime only perspective, and just wanted to kind of bring this up because this kind of sparked into this. These are currently the top 10 rated episodes in the Isekai genre, and I'm going to assume that this is my anime list, right? So this is what ReZero fandom needs to make themselves feel better or special. Not the first time the fandom boosts the ratings for something related to the series. Bro creating an imaginative scenario. I like both Mushoku Tensei and ReZero. I just thought about sharing this chill down. No need to get passive aggressive when I said nothing bad about other series. Well, when you state a fact and your fact does not reflect the opinions of the people reading it, they will immediately get triggered. Just like, I love waffles. Why do you hate pancakes? It's that kind of scenario. But let's just think about this, right? Because there's a lot of, I think, inflation and other context that needs to be addressed. So, first of all, here's a hot take. Tensura the anime. Again, this is just like anime only POV. I hear that Overlord low-key just turns into booties after season 1 as it gets the classic, what was it? Mappa or Madhouse treatment? Isn't there a lot of different production line changes, studio changes, and a lot of people frustrated that the adaptation of the arcs in future seasons are just dog shit? That's what I hear all the time. But I still see a very strong hardcore community of people who enjoy and support the anime. Therefore, obviously, the source material is that amazing. Let's talk about Tensura too, right? Tensura, source material, seems to be just fucking killing it. Light novel sales, manga sales, you see it. The anime, I think, was very explosive in the first 2 seasons. But the 3rd season definitely, I think, was the tipping point as what happened. Issues with, it's a myriad of issues, right? In my opinion, it was the fact that 8-Bit Studios, under Bandai Namco Production Committee, who was the main corporate entity running it, juggled too many projects. You saw other projects during that same timeline failing, such as Mahoka season 3. Does anyone even remember that shit? I hear Mahoka 8, is gonna come back with a Yotsuba, arc like movie, which is gonna be amazing. But there was also that happening. There was also Blue Lock issues, right? So the overall production committee involved in these projects and the studios delivering said projects for that committee, I just think it was stretched too thin. You combine that with the lackluster story. I think that the Hinata Lubelius, the church stuff, Luminous was compelling, but some of the stuff afterwards, the abundant amount of meetings and world building and setup, even though that is a core element in the beginning of Tensura as well, it was not that, it didn't feel like a homework. And a lot of people genuinely fucking dropped that. So with this given context, it's hard for me to say as an anime perspective. We're not talking about source material. This is anime. Does Tensura and Overlord deserve to be in the same position as ReZero? When I think about ReZero, of course, as anime only, I think that the production has been more consistent and better than Tensura. From what I remember. Can't say about Overlord, but again, I'm LARPing here based on how people are talking about Overlord. I think that it's not. What about Mushoku Tensei? I think Mushoku Tensei, here's a hot take. I'd have to go back and watch season 1 and season 2. Because my, trying to understand animation Sakuga, I'm not just, getting hyped at the story, but, look at the production value. Haven't, seen Mushoku Tensei with this different POV. And I understand that there's a quality drop-off after season 1, as there's people leaving the studio from Studio Bind and all that. But in terms of production value, is it not better than ReZero? Is that a hot take? Isn't Mushoku Tensei straight up the standard for high, shouldn't it be what isekai anime has had better consistency and polish? So, I feel like in anime stuff, it should be Mushoku Tensei and ReZero up there. Now, when we go here though, following off of the segue off of the Mushoku Tensei production, what's going on? What's going on, guys? First of all, let's acknowledge something. Look at the number of votes here. And I honestly don't know where these ratings are coming from. I'm gonna assume it's my anime list, probably. But let's look at the actual numbers, because numbers means a lot. And numbers, bigger number doesn't mean necessarily better. This is IMDb ratings? Okay, well, let's go with IMDb ratings. 4.6K. 7.7K. Do you understand how much big of a gap that is? You look at the highest rated is 26,000. So already, we're not even comparing the comparative like 9.6 versus a 9.9. There is a factor of literally like 5 to 6, maybe 6, 7 difference in the highest rated and the lowest rated. And you compare the lowest 2 rated, which I think is crazy that season 1, this is I think Subaru. This is the Echidna episode. Looking at this harem, I think this is the episode where the Echidna is introducing herself as the Witch of Greed, and Subaru explaining his, the secrets that he can't tell anyone. It's a beautiful fucking moment. But look at the difference in comparison. Not gapping by 2x, but nearly goddamn 1.5 to 2x. It's a crazy different motion in terms of how many people consume it. We've already done a comparison of Mushoku Tensei and Re:Zero in the Google Trends before, and we know that Re:Zero obviously has way more motion than Re:Zero. So with these other, and on top of that, Re:Zero has what? Had season 1, 2, 3, 4. Mushoku Tensei is what? Seasons 1 and 2? I understand season 2 was 2 cores, and season 1 was also 2 cores, but still, it's like the amount of relevance Re:Zero has had in the last decade versus Mushoku Tensei as an anime project, right? You have to give it that like Re:Zero has had much more opportunities to come out and play and then create the momentum and have more people get on board and enjoy it versus Mushoku Tensei. That definitely matters. In terms of story stuff, how many people do you think get turned off by Mushoku Tensei because it's Mushoku Tensei? This is absolutely a pain point. I think the casual audience watching this might get really turned off by how weird and creepy Rudius is. And this is a very tricky thing to address, because I also acknowledge that Natsuki Subaru is very detestable in season 1. Many people could not even get through arc 3 because in the bed scene when Amelia is about to leave Subaru and Subaru turns into a fucking pig and tells Amelia, "You have a debt you could never fucking pay me back." To me, that kind of storytelling is so unique and different that I rarely get from other stories. For the author to come out and portray their main character like that with such much flaws is crazy. But those flaws are totally different from Rudius's flaws. While people are upset and annoyed at Natsuki Subaru and Re:Zero and maybe turned off by that and leave, Mushoku Tensei, it's a different level of disgust due to the type of fucking degenerate Rudius is. And I'm not saying that this is a bad thing, I'm telling you just the overall facts and how the average audience will perceive said story. Mushoku Tensei then highlights how this degenerate gets a second chance and how he will be able to perhaps learn from his past mistakes, using his past trauma, and then to understand how he felt like in those positions, like the Norn episode, right? I think that was amazingly handled, right? Or even like his dad and how Ruiz didn't even fucking go to his dad's funeral, his parents' funeral, because apparently he was too busy jacking off to lolly shit. I don't know if that was true or not, but regardless, right? He uses that and then has a bit of closure as he visits Paul later at the end, right? So there's a lot of great moments in development that happens. What I'm trying to say is the nature of this kind of story, I think, will turn off a lot of people. So all in all, what I'm trying to say is Mushoku Tensei has this stench that is harder for people to get an acquired taste for, like a durian fruit maybe, right? While Re:Zero, I understand it also filters, but not in the same way that Mushoku Tensei does. This is just my opinions, by the way. None of what I'm saying are like factual conclusions. While I am mentioning factual points to bring up, who knows how much this actually impacts the overall audience. But this is just like different things that I'm bringing in to the table to provide more context of why this is happening. So now you understand the amount of frequency Re:Zero has had versus Mushoku Tensei to pop off. The way that MT filters out more people than Re:Zero due to the nature of the story and the main character. It's no surprise that Re:Zero is going to be on the chart dominating 9 out of 10. You know what I mean? It's actually not a surprise. And then, and I think the biggest point, right? The first point that I mentioned was 4.6K versus 7.7K. It is so clear to me how different the motion of ReZero and MT is. MT light novel also has been done for a long fucking time. ReZero, web novel still going, light novel obviously there, but it's still going, right? So it's a very unfair comparison in highlighting these two shows. With that being said, all of these episodes, let's look at them. Again, I'm the Witch of Greed, acknowledging Subaru's, secrets for the first time. Subaru felt like, oh my fucking god, I can actually tell somebody about that. That entire episode was actually amazing. Don't leave Betty behind. The library. Subaru saving Betty. Very emotional moment. This lolly has been stuck in this fucking library for hundreds and hundreds, 400 years because of a cruel fucking experiment set up by her mom. The kiss of death. I think this shit goes still so fucking hard and is one of the coolest deaths that we've had. Straight up, also, after getting eaten by bunnies, he stumbles onto Amelia and there's toy box music playing. Genuinely schizo horror. Ram, bro. Ram sacrifice. Look at this, bro. Roswell's about to blast her away for throwing the book. Ram stepped the fuck up. This was like the pinnacle, the height of the Sanctuary arc. Byakuya right here. This is season 4 now, right? Damn, season 3's not here at all. Season 3 is not even here once. Wow. And it kind of goes to show how many people did not give a fuck about season 3. It is what it is. A lot of people watch this not for the action, but for the horror, the thriller, the mysteries. And season 3 did not serve that. It was a different type of arc, and I enjoyed that for its Unga Bunga aura farming. I love those moments too, but season 3, not a single fucking time. So again, don't fucking tell me that oh, just because it has action that you can get viewership. You can get highest ratings. Genuinely, bro. For action and stuff, obviously this is also a different audience that enjoys more of this type of storytelling rather than action, but just because you add action and hype moments doesn't mean it's gonna move the audience. It needs to be differently done. Season 4, don't leave Betty behind. Again, Byakuya, this is when we're getting sniped by Shala at the end. That was fucking hype. Season 4, I don't want to die. I don't want to die. Anastasia comes back. Actually fucked up. I think that this one was shocking, but the kiss of death, I honestly might put that over. I think this is recency bias and inflated numbers, because I want you to look at something first. Do you this is not just recency bias, but look at the number of votes. The kiss of death got 8.2. This episode got 16,000. I don't even think this is a hot take. I think there's many episodes in season 2 and season 1 that absolutely trump this episode. I don't think this is top 4 for me. But again, you have people that are trying to artificially hype up, inflate the series, right? You have promoters, you have glazers, you have people with agendas, and their goal is to just talk and gas up ReZero no matter what cost. And hey, it generally is good, but I think that people do it in a disingenuous way sometimes. If this is actually the top 4, I don't think so. I think it's an amazing episode, but you can see that there is obviously an inflation of numbers and score ratings based on people creating this, again, agenda and many people getting on board. And you know what? I think one thing we should take away from this is that LARPing and agenda posters and promoters, they're significant. Absolutely they are. It's fan wars, brigading, review bomb this, review bomb that. Absolutely, right? And LARPing honestly is why the Aura Monster got even its chance to shine in the opening. And who knows how much of that kind of relevance and impact had in getting more people in. So I'm happy for ReZero. I love the LARPers. I love the agenda posters. I love people that don't know anything about it but just come in trying to fucking say memes and say happy birthday Danny without understanding anything. It just adds to the emotion and gets more people to enjoy it. I'm not turned off by new people coming in pretending like they know about ReZero even if they don't, because it doesn't matter to me. It just matters that you're talking about it. Other people will see it, and genuine audiences that appreciate the story will find its way here even maybe they wouldn't have if not for this, right? I think that this episode still is unbeatable. Season 1 episode 15 genuinely is a masterpiece from beginning to end, right? This episode was not a masterpiece from beginning to end. Many people remember one fucking moment and that's it. And I'm sure people will say, what do you remember from this episode? That one moment where Puck cuts his head? No, I remember the madness that Subaru was apparently faking. as Betelgeuse is confronting him as he gets abducted. Rem's sacrifice and Betelgeuse's crazy introduction and antics, fucking unreal first half of the episode. Then after that, after the twister, Subaru goes out of the cave and walks towards the mansion, seeing everyone that he loved dead on the fucking ground. And then he sees the monster rise to the mansion, sleep along with my daughter. Roll credit, fucking unreal soundtrack playing. It's like a cinematic ending. I'm just sitting there in awe, like what the fuck just happened? Subaru wakes up and now he's angry as fuck, ready to go again. Genuinely from beginning to finish, me even talking about it just gave me fucking full chills, bro. Aura Monster and the episode before that when he got pushed off, obviously inflated scores. People are very excited for Aura Monster. People are very excited for these crazy deaths. But in my opinion, I would rate the season 1 and season 2 episodes, like, they're definitely special. I'm sad that the Roswell episodes aren't getting glazed up. What I really enjoyed from season 2 were like the Roswell scenes. But of course, these are many monumental moments. Anyways, I wanted to give you a breakdown on how I felt about these episode ratings and what I think actually deserve higher ratings. A higher rating and popularity doesn't mean better product. You need to think about how these numbers were created. You need to think about the context, the overall motion. What is the community doing? What's happening in the advertisement, right? You have corporate backing from fucking Clash of Clans, from KFC India, and many more who are willing to get on board because of how much the LARPers and the community members and the agenda posters have spread ReZero. But you don't see this for Mushoku Tensei, right? And that's the final conclusion. There is just way more active community members and dedicated people who are trying to set up ReZero as like the greatest isekai ever. And because of that, many more people are getting on board and witnessing said greatness. Mushoku Tensei, again, light novel's been done for a long time. Anime just doesn't really come back as frequently as Mushoku Tensei. A lot of reasons for it not to be getting that kind of highlight. Does it mean it's bad? No. And I hope that when season 3 airs, what's gonna happen? Will ReZero motion be rivaled by Mushoku Tensei? This is going to be very interesting because Mushoku Tensei, this upcoming arc, I hear that it is akin to season 4 in ReZero, where it's adapting some of the best parts of the story. Therefore, I expect Mushoku Tensei to obviously have peak anime episodes, but the way that it's perceived by the masses, what will happen? Will it be able to compete with this level of engagement? Is the market cap for Mushoku Tensei already doomed as it can't just surpass just sheer numbers of people watching it, therefore it's gonna be stuck? But at the end of the day, I have no doubt Studio Bind is gonna come out with a fucking banger of a season, and it's gonna be interesting to see what happens when Core 2 of ReZero, remember it's going on hiatus, right? One more episode, then that's it. And then, August, right? Core 2 comes back, Mushoku Tensei is still airing. It's gonna be happening in parallel. I think it's going to do wonders for both fandoms. Obviously, they're going to be fighting and drama's going to happen no matter what because humans are involved and tribalism exists no matter what. But tribalism also and these type of like fan wars and review bombing, all that does is actually help each other. Yeah, the score ratings might go down, but it actually causes more motion and more people to be aware of it. That's why like it's actually the best type of marketing to have people so parasocially bonded to some sort of team and they just keep waging wars with each other and create it's like YouTube drama videos, right? Controversy, negative engagement, more people want to watch, more people want to know what's going on, right? It's good. It's honestly a healthy competition.